Everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing another video tonight, because I felt like talking about this subject again, of course. And you can probably guess what the subject is, but I am really looking forward to the day that arrives where I don't have to talk about this subject. But of course, we're talking about the spiked ball. Has been almost 2 years, if not already 2 years, if you count some of the cases that came out of that are unknown cases that may have been in the U.S. and stuff too, like with yours truly in January of 2020, where I had a very strange flu, which I still question at this point, especially considering that I haven't really gotten, knock on wood, that sick since. I think I was sick like a couple of days. Like a couple months ago, I felt kind of sick like for a day or two, and then last year was like a day or two. And I think I might have I don't think I had a fever, but I felt a little sort of close to feverish. I was really exhausted too, but I think I was a little sick like a couple months ago. But who knows? But anyways, this county that I live in is going to be so far lifting the mask mandate. And I don't have mixed feelings about it happening. I think we have to try to move on no matter what. We have to live with this thing, It's just become madness doing the same thing over and over again and having the same results. Just like the old adage of insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and not expecting the same results, So what has happened is that they, using code words because of YouTube, the shots have been delivered, so to speak, to enough people, and I think what has happened with the mask mandate, it's all on Twitter. So I go on Twitter, and they announce a mask mandate until November 27th. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to keep going on and on. And the communication that they gave is like, they were going to do this mask mandate. They didn't announce any kind of ending of it, right? The only thing they ever announced the ending of, well, no. They announced the ending of a couple of things, but the household mandate where they're charging people $1,000 if you'd have someone that didn't live with you in your home. And how the fuck are they going to find that out, by the way? They said, we're not, this ends this day, no plans to renew it. So I knew from this current announcement that the mask mandate ends on November 27th with no plans to renew it. The language, the verbiage sounded a lot like last year when they lifted some of these mandates for good. For like the household mandate, which was a completely ridiculous mandate, which they were sued for, I believe, by a couple of law organizations. So, as I've said before, compliance is super low, lowest it's ever been. Because especially if you go to a downtown bar. Excuse me, I had some spicy food, so I'm not sick. Kind of gross to talk about, anyways, but. So we you go to a downtown bar, they say put your mask on, you're at the door, right? I went to a downtown bar, I'm not going to mention the name, it was a couple weeks ago, and okay, I put my stupid They Live Obey mask, which I love, which is my favorite mask to wear because it's hilarious. And then 3 feet away from the door, from this, the door guy, bouncer, whatever you want to call him, nobody's wearing a mask. Go upstairs, people are dancing. Everything's normal. It's like all theatrics at the door, just in case someone comes in like, oh, there's no people aren't wearing masks. What's going on? It's almost like an illusion, It's like, it's just like this theater that people are doing at some points. So, went to another bar downtown, and they didn't even give a shit, and people weren't even wearing one. They have the football games, that are going on. Nobody's wearing a mask. They're doing after parties and going to bars and people's houses, and there's no fucking masks. You go down, there's no people. There's not even masks hanging from their chins. I don't know if they're in their pocket or something. No, nobody's wearing one. So, in combination with some other elements, I think, and a lot of people are cynical about this. I think people are very cynical and very jaded about the whole this whole city, this whole county, which is ultra liberal, ultra left. So for some reason, even though in other countries, if you're far left, you're against some of these mandates, which is ironic. But so it just depends on what you believe politically, but somehow it's been aligned with the right wing. You're against mandates, for the left wing, you're for them, even though that is changing to a large extent. I was early. I was in early. So right now, what we see with with this mask mandate being lifted is that I don't see it them reinstating it anytime soon. I don't think they're going to reinstate it. I don't think they're just lying and saying no plans to renew it, because the tweets wording from last year, these tweets from this public health organization, plus there was a tweet about the shot, the jabba dabba do, as I call it, the other day, where we have the lowest case rates thanks to this. And they never said anything like this, like kind of like case rates in the state, like, oh my God, our case rates are so low. It's like they're almost like virtue signaling about that to give themselves like the cognitive dissonance excuse to lift the mandate next week. And that sounds a little, or week after. It sounds cynical, but I think it's true. I don't think we're going to have the mandate here. I think there's going to be relaxed. I mean, cases could shoot up too, as we see in other countries and other states, but I don't think they'll have an excuse to put it back on. I think they truly believe the narrative that they achieved this thing with their celebratory, thing that they're doing. But I think there's another element at play here. And as I've said before, there's the hypocrisy and the contradictions and low compliance. Low compliance compared to last year. People, and I don't mean low compliance like as if nobody's wearing masks. Sometimes it's like half off, and sometimes it's just like nobody says anything. I've gone to places where nobody gives a shit. Sometimes they give you weird looks and stuff, but nobody really cares. They're not going to go beat you up like, or yell at you for not wearing a mask or whatever. But especially at the downtown bars. But I think that what happened is that there's some things behind the scenes that are going on, like lawsuits related to the state's banning of emergency orders, how we're the only one with a mask mandate. There's a lot of pressure. I was getting, trying to see if we could question these mandates and stuff. It's like, okay, we have the highest jabbed county in the state, and maybe one of the biggest jabbed cities in the world, which is kind of fucked up. See a lot of zombies in a couple of years. No, I'm just kidding. So, it's like, why would we keep doing this whole mask thing? I mean, people love their masks and they looking like a total jackass, right? Not going to get started on the Wi-Fi booster, subject, because that has really disappointed me in recent days, actually. But yeah, I don't think they're going to renew it. I don't think they have an excuse to renew it unless things got really bad, which they never were really, really bad, compared to way bigger cities or bigger even countries and stuff. It never was that bad here, It's honestly like the death rate is like a pretty bad flu year, just to be honest. And mostly older people too. Not saying that nobody, my niece, she got really sick and can't breathe now. Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying there's no anecdotal things for people, but here, especially in this location, for some reason, the environment, the population density, and yeah, the jabba dabba doo, maybe, depending on what you believe at this point. My hands are up in the air. I don't know, but that has contributed to this, and I don't think we're going back. I just don't believe that. I don't think we're going to put the mask back on. I think there's too many contradictions, too many lawsuits, and just the state governor is very low approval rating, like sort of because of Biden and stuff. We have a Democratic governor who's always on attack from Republicans all over the justice system. Everybody's against these mandates as far as keeping these going forever. So. And I think deep down inside, I have faith to some extent in the city leadership. I do not think they're as authoritarian as these neoliberal douchebags of New York or California. I think they're a lot smarter than that. I'm no big fan of what happened. I'm no big fan of the hypocrisy, which they didn't really exhibit like someone like Newsom or Lightfoot or anybody like that. But I'm no fan of a lot of those things. But I think this city, the political base, the apparatus is way actually left, actually intelligent than a lot of these bigger cities out there, or states. That's my opinion. So I think what I'm trying to say is they're smarter, probably more consistent. I could be wrong. They could just lock everything down next week. I don't know, I hope I'm right though. I think they are influenced by different things. I mean, I don't think my tweets, my troll-like tweets on the mandates, probably, I don't know if that helped or hurt, but, it's a proud moment, though. I mean, I think once this happens, if this goes through and this, we're relatively unscathed from it, then I think we can get back to, to some type of normal, of course, depending on what's required in the future, which I will not comply with, because I will not become I'm not going to be a subscription service person or a person that just is like a soft, like a game that you have to update every couple months. No, I'm not going to be like that. But that's about all. Peace out.